Hello and welcome to Phantom Forces Weapons Spotlight, a series where I give a more subdued and informative look on the weapons of Phantom Forces. In this episode, I'll be covering the Hecate 2. The Hecate 2 is a 50 cal bolt-action sniper rifle unlocked at rank 150. It deals 97 damage up to 40 studs and falls off to 93 damage by 200 studs. It fires at 28 RPM with a 1.8 times body multiplier and a 3 times head multiplier. The muzzle velocity is 3000 studs per second and the penetration depth is 10 studs. Here is a shots to kill table. It has high recoil with low recovery and it holds 7 rounds in the magazine with 35 rounds in reserve of .50 BMG rounds. It has a 4-second reload speed and a 7.5 second empty reload speed. The walk speed is 11.5 and the aim speed is 10. The Hecate 2, or Hecate for short, is one of the very few anti-material rifles in the game, and I would dare say that out of the bunch, the Hecate is probably the most normal rifle. Other anti-material rifles have one gimmick or another to either make them stand out or try to balance out the fact that they can one-shot kill to the body at long ranges. You know, like the BFG is basically just a big metal pipe with one shot. The M107 has a reverse damage curve, the NTW20 breaks your legs, and the Saiga 50 is a piece of junk. The Hecate has no gimmicks, none. It's just a regular bolt-action rifle that just so happens to fire 50 BMG, and that's it. I would also dare say that the Hecate is probably the easiest sniper rifle to use in the game, and requires the least mental faculties to use despite being a high rank weapon. You can use it like a stereotypical sniper rifle, just be at range and shoot people, and it doesn't matter if it's 100 studs or 200 studs, you're most likely still going to one-shot people without aiming much anyway, since hitting body shots are strangely really consistent in Phantom Forces. A few things to keep in mind about the Hecate is that it has a lot of recoil, so it could be a little disorienting, and it's also quite slow, which means that you might not get to the top of the scoreboard unless you're just hitting shots near constantly. But honestly, if you want to compete for the top, you're better off using something else. The Hecate is somewhat relaxing to use, you don't have to put much thought into it for it to be effective, so it would be strange that it would be competitive like in the first place. I rate the Hecate at high B tier. It's slow, but it's very easy to use and it's quite consistent. It's not in A tier purely because it's slow, really. The Hecate also has access to all the regular .50 cal ammo types, and none of them are really that notable, but I will quickly mention Tracerless since it pretty much doesn't hurt your performance at all and it even helps with your recoil. The CQB Barrel increases your walk speed, your aim speed, and recoil recovery at the cost of your range, your long range damage, and your muzzle velocity. This barrel completely wrecks your long range damage and range in general, but now you can walk and get around the place quicker. But overall, I think this attachment is really bad as it pushes you into close and medium ranges if you still want to one-shot kill people to the body. While the rifle still bolts quite slowly, so you're basically dead if you miss at that kind of range. That being said, it can work in small maps, like say Metro, where snipers barely have room to breathe anyway, so you can keep that in mind, but honestly, if you don't know exactly what you're doing, do not touch this thing, it's just not worth it. And that concludes this episode of Phantom Forces Weapons Spotlight. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel as it helps a lot. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.